Hey up and welcome to the Old Man Road to Glory. Taking a look at my team then, I went on a massive losing streak during FUT Champions, and for me Vidal just wasn't cutting it at CDM. So I used Mateus's loan card for some games and went and rebought Inform Goretzka. If you've been watching the series, you'll remember we used him early on-ish in the game and he was still really good. The plan was to use Goretzka until Team of the Season and then try and pick up Milinkovic-Savic's Team of the Season card and Team of the Year Bonucci that you remember we used when we packed before, and then someone like Team of the Season Donnarumma will have to go in goal if they're all to be on full chemistry, and that could be the final team. Trouble is, Serie A will likely be one of the last leagues that gets released, so saving coins and packs until right before the World Cup could be difficult, especially if they end up introducing a World Cup game mode, which means everybody plays that instead of FUT. And in the last team of the week, Savic got upgraded to 88 rated. So I'm not sure whether it was a wise decision or not, but I saw his Path to Glory card for the same price as his 88 Inform, so decided to pick it up. And looking at that card, these stats are absolutely incredible. And this is only his Inform. His Team of the Season will be insane and could realistically be 2 million coins or so. If you just look at the strength on this card and the defending, even his shooting, his long shots, his shot power's 99, his dribbling's excellent. So I picked him up and saw Bonucci on the market that I thought was a reasonable price at the time, and so picked him back up, and that currently leaves ter Stegen off chem. I was worried though that when people start buying their final teams that Bonucci's price would start rising again. So I'm playing with this team for now, and that leaves us with about 1 million coins or so in the bank. This week I also traded in the FUT Swap cards for Zlatan and for Keita Balde-Diao. I was thinking about doing Insigne, who was also 7 swaps, the same as Ibra, and Insigne get a strong link to Del Piero, so be a better fit for the team. But looking at his card, it is just so weak. I was also considering Payet and a pack. But Payet would just be a waste as he wouldn't get in my team. With having Del Piero at that cam spot, there's just a lot of cams that I just can't get into the team that maybe I'd like to try out or whatever, but Del Piero is just too good to be dislodged. If Ibra's no good, then we've at least got a 90 rated card that we can dump into an SBC. Maybe for another prime icon, depending on what the rest of our pack look is, or maybe there'll be some decent Team of the Season SBCs which might need a high rated card. He might also work with that Team of the Season Giovinco that looks to be in the most consistent team, who'd be cheaper than Son possibly, and Gio would also get a strong link to Del Piero. As I didn't play the daily knockout or do the rip-off marquee matchups, I couldn't get the top 3 players or the ultimate pack. I've not really recorded any gameplay this week, but I hope you found the crossing tips from the last video useful, and that tips video is something I'd quite like to do again, so maybe coming up again. In FUT Champs I went to Silver 2 as normal for auto qualification. But unlike previous weeks where I did so with about 20 games left, as I said earlier, I went on a massive losing streak once I got to about 8 or 9 wins, and it took me to playing over 30 games to get to Silver 2, which was crazy. I don't know what happened. The previous week I felt great and wins were pretty easy to come by. This time I just struggled and quit a lot of games with the gameplay being bad and players feeling unresponsive. So maybe forfeiting rather than seeing out games affects your elo and matchmaking differently, I don't know. So on Sunday I was too stressed to record the game, so apologies for that. But now onto the biggest news of the week. Team of the Season started on Friday. It kicked off with the most consistent, which only had goal players in it this year. which is a bit of a shame, and also with the Football League, the English Football League. So it looked like there won't be as many leagues this year. Maybe that's due to the World Cup, or maybe it's an EA ploy to keep the Icon SBC prices high by releasing less Team of the Season cards. But we get the top 5 leagues, and it looks to be in the order of Premier League next week, and then La Liga, then Bundesliga, then Liga 1, the French league, and then the Italian league Serie A to finish off with. And then the top 50 rest of the world players will be available from weekly challenges and from SBCs. So we might not get a Lozano, Gelson Martins, Talisca, Pizzi and co that we were really looking forward to. There's also players, as you could see on screen just there, to win from the daily knockout, starting with Callahan and Hoylett. Imagine what the scenes, and imagine how sweaty the DKT will be if Lozano ends up being one of the rewards. So a bit of change to Team of the Season this year from EA. No bronze and silver teams, but more SBCs. I'm recording this at the start of Team of the Season, so I've not got any content yet, as I went to see Avengers and haven't had time to do anything else on the game other than this short video. But there should be plenty of Team of the Season stuff in the next video, so please check that out. But for now guys, thanks very much, cheers, bye.